Hello everyone and welcome back. Today I wanted to show you some things that might surprise you on the streets of Germany, or specifically Frankfurt. I'm in Frankfurt am Main at the moment, but a lot of these things I think are nationwide. I think if you're new to Germany or you don't know the place very well, there are a few things just walking on the street that might surprise you that you don't really know what they are. And the first thing is right behind me. Can you see that? Let's go and check it out. Can you guess what this is? This is one of the most obscure things I've seen in Germany. It's like a mini vending machine. On the right hand side it's for, I think, bubble gum or chewing gum, and the left is more sort of decorative items. I think there's a rings or that kind of thing. It's only coin operated, so unfortunately I don't have any money with me today, so I can't test it out, but it would have cost 10 cents for a ball of bubble gum. Very obscure, but very interesting to see this kind of thing. Now this one, if you walk around the streets of Germany, you will definitely see this. It's a tobacco machine, a cigarette machine. It's actually quite modern. You can use this with card as well. It's not just coin operated. There are really a lot of these around cities in Germany, but usually in residential areas. So I haven't seen many of these in the city centers. A lot of people smoke in Germany, so I suppose it's really quite practical to have these, especially in the residential areas. You don't have to go to the shop to get your cigarettes, and you can also get them on Sunday. So there's never really a chance of missing out on them. There's a lot of different varieties here as well, but I haven't seen anything like this in the UK for a very long time. I know we used to have these too, but they've been pretty much abolished now. So another thing that you are most likely to see when walking around the streets of most cities in Germany are these public libraries. So these are just sort of like glass cabinets. The design differs depending on which city you are in, but it's like a public library, so people just put their own books in there that they don't need anymore, and you are free to take them out and use them, or you can also keep them. There's no money involved. There's no sort of responsibility, no pressure. You can really do whatever you want with it. I really think this is a great initiative, a great idea, because a lot of us just have loads of books at home, which we've read once maybe, and we're never going to read them again, and they're just sitting at home. And it's a really nice idea because maybe someone else can get some value out of them. Now, this is not unique to Germany. We actually have these in the UK as well. Some of these old red phone boxes have been converted and used as public libraries similar to this. But I just think it's a really great idea. You know, it's a win-win for everyone. There are also, depending on the city district, there are areas which will have more English language books. So also nice for, you know, international people who don't speak German. Great idea. I'm really a fan of this. So the next thing that you are bound to see when walking around the streets of Germany are these advertising columns. And you might think there's nothing really very special about this, but for me it just seemed a little bit weird that there were so many of them for the start. That they're also still, you know, these old school things are still in use. They do also have the normal billboards in Germany, like the electronic ones at bus stations and tram stations and stuff, which rotate with different adverts, but there are a lot of these old concrete pillars around where the posters are stuck on old school. And I was just really very impressed, or kind of surprised at how many there were, pretty much, you know, in every city district you can think of, and also in sort of where I would think obscure places where you would think there's not many people around. You'll probably also see these clothing bins when walking around the streets of Germany. There's quite a few of these sort of clothing dispensers where you can put old shoes, old clothes, and they will be distributed between various different charities depending on which bin it is. Now this is amazing. I really like this. It's been going for about 3 years. They are mobile herb gardens, and the idea with these things is to sort of, you know, help the climate. They are there to filter the air, just to have a nice sort of green space, especially in city centers where there's maybe not so many trees or parks, that you have a space where you can sit, maybe have your break, have your lunch. Especially for people that work in the city, this is really a very nice initiative. If you sit there, you will just be bombarded with these scents of herbs. It's amazing. You can smell the mint, the thyme, the rosemary, the lemongrass. Oh, there's just really a whole plethora of different plants. And when the sun shines, really these smells, these scents come out. And it's almost like being sort of on holiday in the Mediterranean or something like that. Very nice idea. Like I said, they are mobile, so they move around the city a lot. They're not in the same place for a very long time, which is also a nice surprise. This is just a quick one. I found it a little bit strange that these telephone sort of pillars are open, they're not closed. And for example, this one here is right on a really busy road with cars constantly rushing by. And I don't think you'd really be able to hear what the other person is saying on the other end of the line. But as in pretty much every other country, these public telephone booths are really diminishing. They do have the closed ones as well, but you hardly ever find them because who really needs them anyway? Coming on to a more serious topic, I did really want to show you these brass plaques. They're called Stolpersteine, or like tripping stones. And you don't really notice this unless you actually stop and really bend down to take a look. It took me quite a long time to actually really sort of discover these things. They are everywhere in Frankfurt, so they're built into the pavement and they represent the Jews that were murdered or deported in the Holocaust. And there is quite a lot of information on these brass plaques. There's the name of the person, there's usually the date of birth, the date of death, and also a very short description of what exactly happened to them. You know, were they murdered, were they deported, were they just sort of registered as missing? They are often grouped together like this. Sometimes that means that they were like family members or that they knew each other. They are often placed in the area where they used to live, so like in front of their house perhaps. But you also see just sort of single stones placed around the city in the pavement as well. They are not in every city, so some cities don't have them on the pavement. They prefer to have these brass plaques on the walls or somewhere else. But really is it as a stark reminder of Germany's dark past. So look out for these when you are visiting Germany. You will really see these, I think, pretty much everywhere you go. The next thing I had to mention is these e-scooters, because this is really a big thing that you will definitely see pretty much in the major cities anyway in Germany. There are about 5 different providers. It depends which city you are in. Different cities have different brands of this. You scan the QR code there to activate them. You have to download an app on your smartphone, so it only works with a phone. And then you can roll away. So I do find these are really practical. They are very cool to use, especially in the summer. The only thing is that people just don't really use them responsibly and often park them right in the middle of the street, in the middle of the pavement. And it's just very annoying. Like if you were trying to get through with a pram, a pushchair, or you're an old person with a Zimmer frame, you actually can't get through there. You have to go onto the street, which is just really, it's just a bit irresponsible. So that is annoying. I think the idea of the scooters really is good. It's a really great innovation, but there's some work to do around how to actually use them and best practices in that sense. So another thing that you will see, or more actually hear in Germany, are the church bells. I don't know if you can hear them, you probably can, they're pretty loud. They go off here every day at 6 p.m. sharp, like clockwork. So if you don't have your phone, you've lost your watch, you know what time it is just from the church bells. And it's quite difficult to not live next to a church in Germany because there are just so many, regardless of which city. There are churches everywhere. I quite like it, I don't have a problem with it, but it's something that I really do associate with Germany now. Of course, there are many, many churches in the UK as well, but I did not grow up next to one, and there were not really so many in the city where I grew up, so I don't really associate it like I do with Germany. So look out for that next time you're on the street, next time you're out around 6 p.m. and see if you can hear the church bells where you are. So I do hope you enjoyed this video. It was lovely to speak to you as always. Maybe you can now look out for some things when you're on the streets of Germany. Hope you found this interesting, but that's it for now. Take care, keep calm, and I will see you very soon in the next video. Bye-bye.